on the Texas A&M Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor, brought to you by Coors Light, Choose Chill, and Giga Maggie's 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Also brought to you in part by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. Here's Steve Miller.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome out to Rudy's Barbecue. Great crowd on hand tonight. We've got a couple of hours of basketball talk, I believe. We've got Joni Taylor here in the first hour, Bucky McMillan in the second hour. And Joni, congratulations. We got back-to-back home wins.
How about that?
How about that?
Whoop.
Take that. Alabama last Sunday, and then this Sunday, Auburn.
The two Alabamas.
Yeah. And being from someone from, went to school in the state of Alabama, not necessarily from there, but hey, we'll take the wins however we get them.
Yeah, we sure will.
What stands out to you about the Alabama game? That was the ranked win. They were at 21 at the time. They are still ranked this week. They check in at 25. That seemed to be a game last week where kind of felt like you were in control the whole time. Didn't need a massive lead, but just kept going.
You know, Alabama is so talented. They spread you out. They have shooters at every position. Their forwards have size, and so they really put pressure on you defensively to decide how you're going to guard them. And the decision that we made was to take away number 23, Timmons, because while a lot of their other guards are very capable of scoring, she was the one who, like, if you allowed her to get off, not only could she create for herself, she did the best job of creating for others. And her getting by you led to help, and then she was able to pitch it perfectly to these shooters who can catch and shoot from three. And so we decided to try to take her out as much as possible. She still ended up with 19 points, but Carly Weathers, who is a really good player for them, had 7. And I think that was the difference in the game, us just really frustrating Jessica. And we had to dominate the glass against Alabama. That was one of our goals, and we did that. I think overall, when you look at, really for me, the end of the Missouri game, through Oklahoma, through South Carolina, yes, those were 3 losses, we were starting to trend in the right direction. Our competitive stamina has gotten better. Our understanding for what we're doing has gotten better. Our younger players who haven't had as much practice time or experience are starting to come on. Anita is a prime example of that. It's been so fun to watch her out there. And so I think we're just continuing to get better, and that's what you want. Like, you want to continue to get better as the season goes on.
It was a great exuberance shown after that Alabama game. One of those, we got the win. And just to see that and how that can propel you into the forthcoming week. How did the practices go and things as you led up into the midweek game against Kentucky?
Practices were really good against Kentucky. Obviously, Kentucky was coming off of a loss at Texas on Monday. They're a top 25 team. They're very good. We knew that they were going to come out and be ready to go and feel like they had to protect home court. I thought practice was really good. The 2 practices that weren't great were the ones leading up to yesterday's game. But I thought we practiced well. I think if you come watch us practice and you don't know our record, you have no idea. Like, the energy, their spirit, their fight, it's just been really, really good. And so we're continuing to add things to our offensive package and add things to our defensive package because of how coachable they are, how locked in they are.
Last Sunday, that game against Alabama happened during the Super Bowl. Not like, we just kind of crisscrossed a little bit, and that happens sometimes. But, man, I don't think I had ever been a part of having to play during the Super Bowl, your whole game.
Yeah, normally it's a 2 o'clock tip, and you're getting out in time to order some pizza and some wings and watch a little bit of it. I mean, it was like going on at the same exact time.
It's so awkward.
It was. It's so funny because for years we have, like, fought women's basketball. We need to be on TV. We need to be on TV. We need to be on TV. And then it's like, okay, if you're on TV and then you get asked to be on TV, you can't turn the game down because you've done all this begging to be on TV. And so then when the schedule came out, I said, great. So this is going to be one of those games that I can't turn down. But for our crowd that was there, and I got tons of text messages from people who were watching it on their phones while they were somewhere watching the Super Bowl. But for our fans that were there, what a great treat. And I think that's what was so fun is to see our players get a win, but also for our fans, because you guys have been just incredible. You've been right there with us. You've been cheering for us. You've been supporting us. I get all the text messages, emails. I see you guys in the stands. And so for those of you who were there to be a part of that, we really, really were happy and for you guys.
Taking a little diversion there, you mentioned about getting exposure for women's basketball and the SEC being, one or two, depending on who you ask in the league and conferences, and to see the number of games this season on ABC that the league has gotten. Ask and you receive. How does the league among the coaches value that?
I think it's really important. You look at the LSU South Carolina game that was played on Saturday night. I mean, that was incredible. College Game Day was there. It's the second time College Game Day has covered South Carolina LSU. 10 years ago, a Saturday night game would not have been on primetime TV for women's basketball. Does it come as an inconvenience to your schedule a little bit? Maybe so. Does it mess up your routine a little bit, playing on a Saturday instead of a Sunday and then having to come back and play? Sure, but to get more eyes on our game, to put a spotlight on our game, it's well worth it. And so I think all of us in the room, meaning all of us head coaches in the SEC, understand that. We understand the responsibility that comes with it. And again, like Dawn, Vic, Kim, they get asked that a whole lot more than some of us. And so when we have a conflict like playing at the same time as the Super Bowl, we can't really complain.
Right. And is that ABC exposure, those ESPN games, are those the things that the coaches ask for, or they just go, we just want more exposure? How specific can you get in those conversations?
We can't. So what happens is after the schedule is done, our conference office gives it to TV, ESPN. And then they look at the games, they look at the matchups, and they decide if it's going to be on TV. Now, obviously now, all of our games are going to be carried by the network, either on the SEC Plus or on the network, but we're talking like ESPN, ESPN2, ABC. They look at all that, and they decide. And we really don't have – I mean, you can say no, but you're not going to say no. But they look at that matchup and say, oh, second week of February – instead of on the 15th, let's do it on Valentine's Day. So they are also trying to be creative in the marketing windows and ways to continue to promote our sport.
When we come back, we're going to talk about yesterday's game, the game against Auburn, where you had two so-proclaimed awful practices. Yeah. So maybe that's the formula. I don't know. It worked. I mean, one's up by 32. We'll figure out what that mixture was. We are live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. It is the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us out here at Rudy's Barbecue. Great crowd on hand as we talk women's basketball here in this hour until 7 o'clock. The next game for the Aggies midweek Thursday. It's going to be 5:30 Central Time at Tennessee. They come in today ranked 21 in the poll. And you can listen right here on the A&M Sports Network. Be locally on Zone 1150. It'll also be SEC Network Plus. Then we're looking ahead also to next Sunday at home, Reed Arena, 2 o'clock against Arkansas. It'll be Senior Day, if I have my math right.
Yes,
Is it already that time?
It's our last Sunday game, so yes.
Oh, goodness. I looked at them like, really? Mm-hmm. Wow. How many seniors do you have?
4.
That will actually be honored. This is, I know it's all crazy. You can be a senior and not be honored. Like, I got 2 more years.
Lauren's second time, maybe third.
Yeah, she could help organize it. She's done it so many times. Yeah. Just Lauren, anybody else that's going to be done with eligibility, I guess, to be a senior?
Yeah, Lauren, Nye, Lamaya, and Jordan Webster. And then we have some managers that will honor as well. Yeah, but those are our 4 seniors.
It used to be so easy to figure out. You have senior next to your name, but that's not always the case. Anyway, got to get there early on Sunday. Be a pregame recognition. And so that'll be getting it started probably by 1:40, 1:45 or so. So make sure folks get out there early next Sunday. 2 o'clock is the start, and get your tickets if you don't already have them, 12thman.com. Well, yesterday the Aggies beat Auburn. The final was 81-63, and we'll forget the final 5 minutes. It's not that's a different show.
Wasn't very pretty.
Wasn't very pretty. It was a 32-point game at that point, and we'll just, that's how that goes. What was the formula? Because you said before, you didn't say it on the air, but we talked before the game. You're like, we just had the worst couple of practices we've had. Kind of one of those, well, let's see what happens. And sure enough, what clicked?
I kicked him out Saturday.
Out of what?
Practice. I literally kicked him out of practice. That's how bad it was.
And how does that go? What is the frustration that gets you? What's the final straw on that? Bad play, attitude, effort?
No attitude. So let's rewind to Friday. We get back really late from Kentucky. They have class. They have rehab. They have weights. We see them at film for 2:30. And then they go film, and film is a rehash of Kentucky plus let's prepare for Auburn. And then they go lift weights, and then there's practice. So they're not walking onto the practice floor until probably 4:15, 4:30, and it's already been a long day, and they probably haven't slept well. And they were just out of it. They're just not focused. And that can happen sometimes. Like, they're a little sluggish, they're tired, their bodies are beat up. Lauren's got bruises everywhere. I mean, so you don't give them a pass. You continue to coach them up and say, hey guys, focus, lock in. But they were they mentally, you could tell they were exhausted. So Friday was what Friday was, and then they come back Saturday, and it was just more of the same. And at that point, I was boiling, or as my mom would say, I was fit to be tied. And for me, it is time for when we put them on the line, we send them up the steps. Made them run 10 steps day before a game. I mean, we've done all these things, and it wasn't clicking. At that point, they're not trying to not be locked in. They just weren't. And so either I'm going to say something I shouldn't say, or somebody's going to get hurt. So let's just, y'all leave. Go. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Go.
And that was it?
That's it.
And how much of practice had happened at that point?
We've probably been there for about an hour, 15 minutes maybe.
Have a great day.
We had 2 more things we were supposed to go over, and I was just like, y'all leave.
So you wake up on Sunday, and it's a little later game. So the timeline's a little later, a little bit extra rest, because sometimes these Sunday games, man, it's quick. Shoot around at 7, 8 o'clock, if you will, 9 a.m., just depends. But this one got until, almost noon or whatnot.
Yeah.
What are you thinking as you walk in and pull into Reed Arena? How is this day going to go?
I have no clue. I'm thinking I sure hope Plan A works, because we didn't get to work on Plan B. So I sure hope that Plan A works, because we never got to Plan B on Saturday. Came out and spent a lot of my time, after we huddle up, there's media there. And depending on who the media is, they may or may not have called our game or been around us. And so Sunday's game was 2 people who I like a lot, but who had not called us all year long. And so I spend a ton of time talking to them, because I want to make sure that they are the voice of our team on air. And it's important that they are saying things that are factual and true, and not just looking at our record and making assumptions. And so I wasn't out there for most of shoot around, but I could hear it. It felt better. It looked better. There were a few moments where I kind of was like, what was that? But the ones who needed to be locked in were locked in. So I felt a little bit better. But I wasn't, that was just for me literally sitting back here watching it. And while I'm saying that, let me just give a huge shout out to our assistant coaches, because we've had some situations this year. When we were at Missouri and the snowstorm came, we had 2 people commentate our game who were men's basketball commentators, because they were commentating the men's game the day before, and they were just going to stay and commentate our game. They didn't even know my name, right? And so this is like the 3rd or 4th time that I have spent almost the entire shoot-around with the color in the media to make sure that they get it right. On air. And so our assistant coaches do a tremendous job of running shoot around for us. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in a shoot around. You guys spent some time working on some fundamentals to get juices flowing, and even during some of the fundamentals, I was noticing some of the interactions that assistant coach Alex Varlin was having, and just that interaction, you couldn't help but
be excited. You're about to buy in, or this may be it today. It'd be time for you to go on home as well.
Right.
And
right.
How can assistants impact that sort of a shoot around? Because hey, everybody's on the clock. Coach, we're going to play the game whether this shoot around goes or not, right?
Mm-hmm. I think a couple things. The assistant coach that has the scout, so the assistant coach that's responsible for that game, has got to be really lock in step with managing shoot around offensively and defensively. And then our other assistant coaches, like, it's your position. Coach your position. There's going to be a segment where we go guards forwards and have a breakdown. What the guards are doing needs to reflect our game plan. What the forwards are doing needs to reflect our game plan, offensively or defensively. And so they do a really good job of being locked in, being prepared, and making sure that the energy is where it needs to be for game day.
And one of the things that you guys were going to focus on was really thinking Auburn was going to press. And how are you going to deal with the press? And they spend a lot of time, hey, don't be running to the sideline. That's not your friend over there.
No, and stay away from Duhan. Number 4. Stay away from her. I mean, she's really good. I think I was shocked that they didn't press sooner or full court, put some pressure on her. And I also was worried that they were going to try to take away Nye in some way. I thought they were going to put number 4 on Nye, actually, and I was shocked that they did not do that. Good. I'm glad that they did not do that, but I was really shocked that they didn't.
The stat sheet is full of great numbers, but what is it that stood out to you about the game? What was the secret to success yesterday?
Our game plan was to force them to take long 2s and 3s, protect the paint at all costs, because they are elite when they can get to the paint off of penetration or posting up or cutting, offensive rebounding. And so it was to protect the paint. And they aren't great three-point shooters. And so, of course, they come out and they make everything they shoot. So, like, here we go.
There were 5.
And I just kept saying, hey, trust it. Like, stay with it. They cannot continue to shoot this well for this long. Just don't abort mission. Like, don't start creeping out. Like, but the whole time I'm like, come on, Lord, help us. Like, the Holy Spirit, help us, please. But true to form, that they cooled off, and our game plan just was, they executed it really, really well.
When you get out of the first quarter, it's trailing was a 22-19, but they had been shooting again unconscious, not Kentucky-like unconscious, but those three-pointers. I mean, unbalanced, 1 foot up in the air, sort of things that number 7 Jackson was putting in. It's like, well, that's not sustainable. What they're doing. But you go to the second and the third quarter, and it ended up being 45-21 since the end of the first quarter. And getting to cap it off with a really clutch 3 by Joni Spencer. That was a pretty exuberant moment.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So we go into halftime up 9 and just had some conversation about what we needed to continue to do, what we could possibly do better, what to expect if they made some changes. And then we just came out, and I could tell. I said, if we can get stops and we make a few baskets, they're about ready to fold. You could see it. You could see it on their faces. And so we just continued to share the basketball. I thought Celeste did a really good job of penetrating, getting to the paint, playing off 2 feet, reverse pivoting, and finding the next open player. Whereas in the past, when she got into the paint, she tried to force something up. And I thought she did a great job. I thought Knott came out and got us started in the third quarter. She only had 2 points at halftime. And I thought she came out and did a really good job of picking her moments to score in transition. And then to end the quarter with Chaney's 3, it just was, we had a whole quarter to play, but it was the icing on the cake. And I got asked this question. This is how I will sum it up. I got asked this question in post-game media by someone. They said, speak to just what it means, the chemistry that your team has, to see them so excited for Chaney after she makes that shot. Like, talk about your team chemistry. And I said, no. Let's talk about who Joni Spencer is, that our team would be that excited that she made that shot. Joni comes to practice every single day just with energy, high motor. That child is drinking water out of a fire hydrant, y'all. I mean, it is coming at her fast. And she wants to do anything she can to help this program. And so anytime she has any success at all, like, we are all so happy for her, because she's just one of the hardest workers we have, and she's so fun to be around.
Well, it's rare that you make it across the court. It's one thing to see the players go storm a teammate in the corner, but you were out at midcourt as well.
Yeah.
And so why does that? Why are you out there? What is it that?
I'm really hard on Joni.
Yeah.
I mean, Joni's she's in tears most of the time in practice, guys. Like, being a point guard is not easy. Especially here, it is not easy. There's a lot of responsibility. We want you to think through things. We want you to make reads. You got to tell everybody else where they're supposed to be, in addition to you knowing what you're doing. That's hard. It's hard for Nye. It's hard for a freshman especially. And so we're on Joni quite a bit. And so for her to have the confidence to take that shot, to make that shot, like, it just means so much to her. So I couldn't get to her as fast as I wanted to because there were so many other people who were there. But I definitely wanted, when she came to the sideline, I wanted to make sure she saw me waiting there for her with open arms.
Two team-related statistical aspects in this game: 20 assists on 29 made field goals. A pretty incredible margin.
I thought we shared the ball well. I think the ball's had good pop the last couple of games. It's had good energy. It's moved. It hasn't gotten stuck. I'll take some responsibility for that. Early on in SEC play, we were playing some teams like a Texas, like a Vanderbilt, even a South Carolina, that are just stifling defensively. And we said, hey, Nye, keep the ball. Like, this is what we're running. And so we shortened our package a lot. In doing that, I think we all got used to standing around watching Nye dribble the ball, right? Go make a play. And so we have really worked hard the last few weeks to get back into our offensive flow and rhythm and throw some more of our movement back into our offense, when earlier in some of those games, it just wouldn't have been smart to do that. And so the last 3 games, I think the ball has had really good energy and movement.
Always the easy target among fans is free throw shooting, and not a target yesterday. Every last person that stepped up made a free throw. Ended up 14 of 14. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's
very good.
The low-hanging fruit here for our basketball aficionados. Can't say you worked extra hard on it, but what is it that has folks going up there and just knocking them down no matter who they were?
You know, who stands out to me is Emerald Parker. Like, Emerald is someone who struggles from the free throw line. And this is like the second game where she's made all of her free throws. We have talked a lot about winning the margins, and the margins are like those small areas that don't show up on a stat sheet, like 50-50 balls. When the ball's on the ground, who's going to get it? When the ball's in the air, who's going to get it? When's the last time we took a charge? You know, free throws. How do we create extra possessions? How do we get deflections? And so the free throws are one of those areas where we've talked about that's a margin where we need more points in. Our out-of-bounds plays, can we get 4 to 6 points off of our out-of-bounds under plays? Win those margins. That'll move the needle in the right direction. And it was really good to see that on Sunday.
Yeah, many of those well-earned people heading to the basket, not just one of these fouls at the other end, go down and shoot, but seeing the guards and everybody just start attacking the basket. Yeah. We always say good things tend to happen when you attack the basket.
Absolutely.
And that's another case. Well, anyway, congratulations on that win. Final was 81-63 over Auburn. So back-to-back home wins. Got an opportunity to get a couple more home wins here before it's all said and done. All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by our Director of Player Development and Athletic Culture, Ashley McCord. We're live at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. We're back on the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us out here at Rudy's Barbecue. We're here until 7 o'clock, and then it'll be Bucky McMillan taking over and Andrew Monaco talking men's basketball for the next hour. Next game for our Aggie women is Thursday, 5:30 Central Time at Tennessee. And that'll be locally on Zone 1150 right here on the A&M Sports Network, also on SEC Network Plus. And then the Aggie women return to Reed Arena on Sunday, hosting Arkansas at 2 p.m. for Senior Day. Arrive early, and looking forward to seeing you there. The SEC tournament for the women begins on Wednesday, March 4th at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. That's in Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on all of these things, head over to 12thman.com. Great crowd out here at Rudy's Barbecue, and we are joined by our Director of Player Development and Athletic Culture, Ashley McCord. Ashley, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I need a clarification on whose child that may be related to you won one of the baby races yesterday, because I believe that you have some relation.
Yes, not my personal child.
Okay.
Feels like my child, but that is my niece.
Okay.
So my sister's daughter, Kai.
Kai. And how old is Kai?
Kai's a year and a half years old.
Year and a half. Kai was sprinting, if I recall.
Oh, yeah.
One of the few standers in the race, it seemed.
She's had a lot of practice. Mom and Dad are pretty competitive, so
practice.
Yeah.
So you believe there was some back hallway practicing
I
yesterday,
believe
maybe missed the first or second quarter?
Yep, maybe even at home, like for the last few weeks. Possibly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You could tell that that child knew exactly what she was doing.
She did. She had a good time.
Congratulations. Maybe?
Yeah.
Well,
Mom and Dad did.
If the prize was good, then everybody was a winner on that deal.
Exactly.
So great. Well, congratulations. What? As director of player development and athletic culture, this team has got a pretty different culture about themselves than some of the previous teams we've had here in the last 3 years. What mix is the tremendous job of building the roster that the coaches do versus the impact that you and the programs you're implementing have?
Yeah, I think one thing that's been really cool about this group is they all really want to be here. And they very easily bought into what it means to be an Aggie before they were even fully immersed into this culture. And so that from the jump has made it a lot easier than maybe some groups before, to just help them to buy into the vision that Coach Joni has for us here. And so really helping them learn, like, what does it look like to be a good teammate? What are the things that stand in the way of keeping you from being the best teammate that you can be, from being the best person that you can be? And what are things that are even going to help you to be great when you leave here, when you're done playing basketball? And so that's what a lot of our conversations are kind of centered around, things that don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet.
And especially when you have essentially a whole new group that's come in. It's not much building on what you did last year. Those folks are long gone, it seems.
Yeah.
What kind of challenge does that present to you?
Honestly, I'd give a shout out to our returners, Nay and Lo and Nessa. Their voices have been really impactful this year, and honestly, I feel like for all of them, their voices have become even louder. I think they've grown in their confidence, really needing to step up as leaders, as players that were here before. But also, this group has really great personalities. We had our team retreat pretty early this year, and they all just really have fun together. They get along really well, which we're learning sometimes that can be a pro and a con.
Right.
And so I think kind of at the peak of the season, we really started to have to see what that meant for our team. Like, okay, y'all like each other off the floor, but we got to figure out really how to come together as a team, because personalities can only get you so far when you need to win a basketball game.
We're visiting with our player development director and athletic culture guru, Ashley McCord, and you talked about the peak, but some would also say you had a pretty big valley and a stretch of games where kind of put you on the table there of go, hey, what are we going to do? What are some of the things that you were needing to work on when this team was having a hard time getting across the finish line and getting the W's?
Yeah, we really had to think through, like, what does it look like when you've maybe failed? And Joni's talked to us a lot about that. Like, that's when your true character shows up, is when you're in the valley. And so the conversations that we were having before film and that we have during team building is, okay, guys, this is when what's truly in you and all the work that we put in, this is when it really needs to show up. And so I think that was really cool for them to see, that regardless of what the score was at the end of the game, it's like, well, y'all communicated for 4 quarters. Y'all haven't been doing that. That's growth. Y'all had good energy for more than 1 quarter. That's growth. Y'all have given effort. Like, the things that we don't see on the stat sheet, they're seeing, oh, we are getting better in these areas, and in turn that does help us to win basketball games. When we're down by 5, 10, 15 points, but we have good energy, we can get steals. It all translates. And so I think when we were at our lowest points, really having to learn what does it look like to fight. But then also, I just commend Joni for having a really great level of discernment on what our team and what our players need when we were in that period of time. And there was just one day where we didn't have practice, and we went to Joni's house and we played games. And one of the games that we played, they were on 2 teams, and they had oranges or lemons? Lemons under their necks, and they had to pass them back and forth to their teammates in a line without dropping the lemons or touching the lemons. And one of the players were like, this is the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life. Like, Joni was on a team. Joni was laughing.
Joni won.
Joni did win. Her team did win, of course. She wins everything. But they laughed so hard. And so it was just a really good time to get together and do things that had nothing to do with basketball. But I really think that helped us to continue forward in upward trajectory.
Was the lemon game your idea?
It was YouTube's idea, and YouTube was for the win. But yes, I facilitated the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is one of the other things that you have? One of your initiatives that you've done this season that you're most proud of?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I will say one is. So I kind of run in 2 lanes, right? I do a lot of the mental performance, team building, but also the spiritual side of things. And for everything that I do on the spiritual side, it's always voluntary. So our players aren't required to come to those things. And one of the new things that I've done this year before the game, we have 7 minutes where the girls are in silence. I'm playing some worship music, and they get to journal and pray before the games. And almost every game, 15 out of 15 players have shown up for that. They don't have to come. Joni doesn't tell them they have to come. I'm not saying, y'all make sure you get ready and come. They know when to show up, and they show up, and they are ready, and they love it, and they keep coming back. And so I'd say that's a big win. Mm-hmm. And then in that same regard, several players that have been intentional on wanting to grow in their faith, even to the point where they've said yes to Jesus for the first time. And they're seeing how their faith, yes, praise the Lord for that. And they're seeing how their faith pairs with their sport. For a lot of them, they've been Christians or they've had a faith background for their whole lives. They're like, what does this have to do with basketball? So they're able to see, oh, like basketball can be a form of worship. Like when I'm struggling on the court, I can pray. I can say, God, I need energy. I need your strength. Or I keep messing up. I need you to show me that you love me and that you care about me regardless of how I perform on this court. And so that's just been a huge win, I would say, that a lot of them probably weren't even expecting.
Wow, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Joni, how do you measure the impact of what Ashley and what she's doing is making?
It is something that it's hard to put into words. She's got me over here crying, actually.
I see that. Sorry.
Because I wear a shirt sometimes to practice, and it says, "This is heaven is my home. I'm just here recruiting." And everybody laughs when they see it, but I'm so serious, right? I'm so serious about it. And we are coaching hearts and minds, and basketball is what we use to trick them, right? Yes, we want to win every game we play. We want to be competitive, thank you, in everything we do. But at the end of the day, when people ask me, what do you want your players to say about you? What do you want your players to remember about your coaches? It is that our staff, the staff that I had, the coaches that I had, the people that I had around me, I had no doubt that they were followers of Jesus, and they did everything they could to make me the best person possible. Mm-hmm. And that is what Ashley does for our players every single day. Ashley was with us at Georgia, so she's been with us for a really long time. And our relationship has continued to grow lock and step in terms of she knows that I'm super forgetful on Tuesdays and Fridays. And she's like, hey, are you going to talk about anything before film? Yep, I sure am. And so she's just done a really good job of streamlining what's in my brain to her. And then from that to the team and having consistent follow-up with it.
Excellent. Ashley, thank you so much for being here and sharing that powerful message of what's going on with the team.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
All right, everybody, that's Ashley McCord. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a Joni Taylor autographed basketball, and will be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We're back on the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have everybody out here tonight. We've got women's basketball talk going on until 7 o'clock, and then we'll have men's basketball talk with Bucky McMillan from 7 until 8 o'clock. Aggie women will be at Tennessee Thursday at 5:30 Central Time, and then back home Sunday 2 o'clock against Arkansas for Senior Day. For information, go to 12thman.com. One women's game going on tonight, typically a game or two on Monday night. Got Mississippi State at Arkansas, so that's why we bring it up. And midway through the first quarter, it's Mississippi State 13 and Arkansas 4. So there you go. That's how we got that going on.
Two teams we got to play.
Two teams coming up over the next two Sunday and a Thursday, coming up at Reed Arena. We've been handing out this season a few commemorative balls for some great achievements, which I really haven't figured out over the course of time. We may have to get Brandon on the show at some point on how all the media relations folks are going to figure out how all these stats are going to sort themselves out with all the transfers that are happening in the sport. But nonetheless, we've given out 3. Do you want me to ramble them off, or you want to tell us about each one? How good is that memory?
We'll see. We'll see. Let's go with Lauren.
Go with Lauren.
Lauren got a ball for 500 rebounds at Texas A&M. She has more in her career, but she got 500 at Texas A&M in 3 years.
That is a tough list to get on at A&M.
And so that puts her in our record books, right, at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That same game, we gave Nye a ball for 2,000 points.
Yes.
Was that right?
She has 2,000 points, yes. She's gotten 3, I believe.
3 balls total.
She's gotten 3 balls total, 1 for 2,000 points.
Yep.
1 for 500 assists.
And 1 for 400 steals.
1 for 400 steals.
500 and 400, yep. So that puts her in the NCAA record book.
400 steals is a huge marker.
Huge. So, I mean, people ask me all the time about Nye and what are you most excited about or surprised by in her game. I'm like, nothing. I mean, and we can't take credit for what you see. She came here that way. I think what is so fun about Nye is how intentional she is with her relationships and the things that she does off the court. But that was really, really cool to be able to be in the record books for all of it, but the 400 still is really, really a big deal.
I believe that puts her in the top 30 in the country in the history of the game. Is that right, Brandon? Is that how crazy that number is? Yeah, that is how great the Nye's numbers are. And then Fats got a ball for 1,000 career points.
Yes. And I jokingly said to her, we got to keep you on the floor longer because you could have gotten this ball about a month ago. So, you know, she's a walking double-double when she's on the floor. And so we've got to continue to make sure that she stays in the game and doesn't put herself in foul trouble because she's so valuable to us.
Those are great recognitions and chances to recognize folks and to take time to do it. I mean, you could just do that in the locker room, but to do it in front of everyone, pretty meaningful.
It really is. I mean, I think, again, like, our fans are as much a part of the ride and the journey we're on as we are. And so that is something we want to share with them. We want to acknowledge our players in front of our home crowd, in front of their families. And so it's a special thing.
Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about the Tennessee game coming up on Thursday and look ahead at just some of the things going on within the program. Arkansas coming up as well. We're live at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the bulletproof roof guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. It is the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you all with us tonight. Coming up at the top of the hour is Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. So hope you stick around for that. The Aggie women will be at Tennessee on Thursday, 5:30 Central Time. Tennessee's had a couple of big games recently, and they dug out of a big hole against Texas on Sunday and got it tied at halftime. I didn't see much of the second half, but ended up in a 2-point game. But Food City Center, Thompson Bowling Arena, that's never an easy place to play.
Never an easy place to play. They are long, they're big, they're athletic. They're going to press you for 40 minutes. She's got a Nolan Richardson-ish type of offense and defense. And so it's hockey subs, 5 in, 5 out. You guys have seen it. You know how it is. And so
fresh legs
trying to wear you down. We've got to take care of the basketball. We've got to get to shooters. We've got to box out. We've got to put pressure on them. Teams that like pressing don't always like to be pressed. And so we've got to just continue to apply pressure to them. And then just who can do right the longest, right? Which goes back to competitive stamina and bowing your back. And, you're walking into a really, really hostile environment, and they've lost 2 out of their last 3. They lost South Carolina, they beat Missouri, and they lost Texas. And so, this is the end of the season where standings come into play, seeding comes into play, and so everybody's fighting for something. And so we're going to have our work cut out for us. It's a really good team.
Their leading scorer, Talia Cooper, 15 points a game. And then Joni Barker, who's now a senior, 14 points and about 6 or 7 rebounds a game. Joni left here, went to UCLA, now in her second year at Tennessee. What do you think about her movement and back in the SEC? And it's just kind of a story of the sport, I guess.
There's so many players who this is their third school, fourth school. I honestly haven't. I love Jania.
Yeah.
I haven't paid much attention to it since she left.
Right.
Obviously, at UCLA last year, she was in the Final Four, and we saw her on TV playing there. But she's a skilled player, does a really good job for them. She's one of their starters, go-to players. Talia Cooper is the head of their snake. She's the one who we've got to be really, really concerned about. They've got several players on their roster that can score in buckets, and they not win. Talia Cooper, when she plays well, they win. And so that's what we've got to really make sure we do a good job of focusing on where she's getting her shots from, how she's creating shots for other people.
Seems they also continue to have the same size that you expect from a Tennessee team. Just the type of players, regardless of who's coached there, they always seem to have the same type of players.
Yep. Long, tall, athletic, a few that can space the floor and shoot it.
They are 20 in the net, 16-7 overall, 8-3 in conference play. And then we've got Arkansas. They're 104 in the net, 11-15 overall, 0-11, probably going to be 0-12 after tonight. It's kind of the way that goes. They've got a new coach because Mike Neighbors, after 8 years, done there and doing studio and doing some pro stuff and whatnot. So we'll see what Arkansas has in store. We'll see what happens here. The Mississippi State is the next home game. So that'll be on a week from this Thursday.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's playing.
It's our last home game.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're playing well. They upset Tennessee.
Yeah.
They got another win that was really good. Mississippi State's a really good team. They're another team that's kind of continuing to come on as the season goes on. Sam's done a really good job there.
You had Beyond Basketball. Last week is what it was, and we didn't have a show beforehand. What did folks miss at Beyond Basketball?
So February is our breast cancer awareness month. So we had Jenny Palmatier from the K-Yao Cancer Fund. How many of you guys remember K-Yao, the coach at NC State? She was in the same breath as Jody Conrad and Andy Landers and Leon Barmore. I mean, she was one of the guardians of our game, and she got diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and really publicly shared her story at a time when a lot of people chose to keep that private. And she wanted her mess to be her message and started the K-Yao Cancer Fund while she was still battling cancer and just created the movement that it is now. It is at the high school level, the junior college level, our level. The men now have a breast cancer game. And so Jenny played for K-Yao. She worked for K-Yao, and now she runs the K-Yao Cancer Fund. So she was just here. I hate we couldn't get it lined up where it was our game was after she spoke, but we had just played Alabama and had our Think Pink game or our Pink Alliance game. But she came and just talked about the importance of not just breast cancer, but all cancers and how they affect women, and taking care of yourself, and just shared incredible stories about K-Yao and who she was.
Yeah, the whole movement has come a long way since trying to get simply pink uniforms made, much less get them approved to be able to wear.
Right.
And now I look down at most of our players are still wearing their pink shoes from last week. They must have been comfortable.
And our game Thursday at Tennessee will be a pink game too.
Yeah.
And I think it's just now that we have a chance to raise awareness. I'm still waiting for the final total, but we were able to raise some money to give back to the K-Yao Cancer Fund to help them too. So this is something that affects everybody. I think everyone knows someone or someone of a family friend who's been hit by cancer.
All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Our thanks to Joni Taylor and to Ashley McCord, engineers Kevin Minchow, and Lacey Williams back in Jefferson City. For Coach Joni Taylor, I'm Steve Miller. We've got the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan coming up. This has been the Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor from Learfield.